My name is WOLI Alagba, a very powerful prophet and pastor of a very big church. I need your advice, but first, here is my story. I haven't always been this rich, powerful, and famous. As a matter of fact, few years ago, I was a jobless single father of a beautiful 25-year-old girl. The mother of my daughter left me because of my poor condition. As a jobless graduate of English and linguistics, I had no option but to hustle so as to be able to provide for my daughter. I started working odd jobs as a laborer on different job sites, as a white-collar job was not forthcoming. One day, luck smiled on me when an old friend offered me an old vehicle on hire purchase. That was how I became a driver. The cab work was a big upgrade in status compared to the laborer work I was doing initially. I always drove with a big smile on my face, cracking jokes with my passengers as we went. One day, a lady booked a ride, and upon picking her up, as usual, I was very jovial and nice, and we chatted as we traveled. It was a long distance trip from Ore to Ijebu, where she was going to visit her father. And we talked all along. The woman self liked gist. The woman took a liking to me. She was impressed with how fluent and effortless my English was. I mean, a common cab driver? How come he could speak so well? I'm sure she wondered. When she mentioned it, I quickly corrected her that, look, madam, I am a 2-1 graduate of English and linguistics, so it's condition that made crayfish to bend, as our people would always say. She was surprised, so she promised to help me. When she made that promise, I was wondering, how could she possibly help me? After all, they say women don't like to help men unless they want to have something to do with them. And obviously, she was a married woman because I could see the wedding ring on her finger. I was wondering. She later said that her father was one of the most powerful sorcerers in the entire town of Ijebu, and asked if I wouldn't mind meeting him. Coincidentally, she was traveling on that particular trip to go and see her father at Ijebu. So I thought to myself, what is the worst that could happen? I beg, I'll miss the man as we were already going there. She said it would be brilliant that such intelligence as mine shouldn't be wasted driving taxi up and down. She promised me that it would be bloodless and that I wouldn't have to sacrifice any of my loved ones to attract the wealth and power that her father would offer. I thought to myself, well, it is what all of them say. But the truth of the matter is that as at that point in time, I didn't mind going all the way. Anything to be able to give my daughter the best, I would consider doing it. I was happy and excited to finally seek help out of my financial struggles. Upon arrival at the place, I saw some boys tearing firewood in front of the hut, and she told me that is her father's house and that those were her brothers. So in my head, I'm like, imagine, see the man who wants to make me rich and famous. Look at his sons. They are obviously poor. Regardless, I decided that there was no going back. I had to hear what the man had to offer. After several consultations with his deity, Baba said, with my good command of English, the deities said that I should go and open a church. I expressed my concerns that, citing my inaccurate knowledge of the Bible, how will I be able to run a church? You don't run a church only because you can speak good English. You need sound knowledge of the Bible. Baba laughed it off, saying people only want miracles. Who cares if the pastor knows the Bible or not, so long as he can solve their problems spiritually? Majority go to church not for the love of God, but in search of miracles, signs and wonders. If you have the powers to help their conditions, they wouldn't mind. And as time goes, you will start understanding the things that are in the Bible to back up your miracles. To this, I couldn't agree more. Because even me, I know how many night vigils I have attended at several churches, all because of my pursuit of financial breakthrough. Baba promised to give me powers to heal, transform, and fix any issues any members may have. Baba promised to make me very powerful to cast out any demons or diseases afflicting anyone in my church. He added that I wouldn't have to pay him a dime or make any blood sacrifices. I wasn't carried away with excitement, even though I was happy. So I asked what the terms and conditions were, because it's impossible for you to give me all this and ask for nothing in return. Baba said that this was a post-paid kind of arrangement, meaning the deities are to collect their sacrifices after freely giving me all that I wanted. I said it. They must expect something in return. So I asked, what do they want after giving me all this? Baba said, everybody who gets a miracle through me must publicly testify in my church. That is a public testimony. And that exactly 6 months after receiving their miracle or breakthrough, they would die. What? So exactly 6 months after I meet them at the point of their needs, the deity would take their lives as a sacrifice. So in my head, I'm like, so if somebody prays to gain admission to study engineering in the university, for instance, that's the person's prayer point. Engineering is a 5-year course. The moment the person gains the admission, they die 6 months after. I was thinking all this in my head. The deity comes and takes their soul exactly 6 months after giving them what they asked. He described it as a spiritual loan transaction where you get a miracle and then pay back with your life 6 months after. No wonder his sons aren't rich. Chai! They are in front of their father's hut, tearing firewood, living in the village. Who no like better thing? I started to think, this is between the devil and the deep blue sea. Poverty is the devil. Doing what this Baba has suggested is the deep blue sea. I decided to do the latter. I'm tired of this poverty. After all, those that will be testifying, do I know them from anywhere? I'll give them temporary relief, after which they go and meet their maker. I agreed to do it, and Baba immediately began performing the ritual rites, including cleansing baths and marking incisions all over my body. The entire fortifications took 3 days, after which I became a superhuman. I was almost invincible. I was casting out diseases like I was the one that put them there. Everyone who encountered me got the breakthrough they wanted. So much was my popularity that the king and elders of the community I lived gave me a land and offered to build a church for me. I named the church Bajawiri Miracle Center. Money started flowing. Barren women were becoming pregnant even without having sex.
Your miracle will be activated by your clap offering unto the heavens. I shall count from 1 to 3, after which you are meant to clap. Clap away your diseases, clap away your disappointment, and receive your miracle. 1, 2, 3, clap!
Dullards and blockheads were passing exams they never prepared for. Contractors were getting jobs they never deserved. Any man who flirted with any of my female church members became hooked forever. Visas were flying up and down. Some Sunday services I didn't even preach because there was no time. The testimonies people were giving were lengthy, shocking, and surprising, and they were too much. If I say it's testimony time, almost the entire church will come out because they have one major testimony to give. Remember, all these people died exactly 6 months after their miracle arrived. People wouldn't notice because your own 6 months appointment with death is not another person's 6 months appointment with death. It's not like everybody died on the same day. Okay, death is a normal thing. Okay, so people did not observe the trend. I started holding crusades all over the world. My anointing was on fire. Even Europeans, Americans, white people, they almost worshipped the ground on which I walked. But there was a problem. My only daughter at this particular point in time had been married for 5 years without getting pregnant. Her marriage was on the brink of collapse. She had now become an object of mockery. People would say, "Your father is performing miracles all over the world. The barren ones are becoming mothers through his enormous powers. Wait, why can't he help you? You of all people, the only child of such a powerful man, you don't have a child." Even blogs and social media started talking and posting my daughter's pictures everywhere, asking why I cannot make her conceive. One day, my daughter came crying and begging me to declare a word upon her so she too can become a mother. She said her husband's mother was on her neck. She was crying bitterly. She was telling me, "Papa, you do it for thousands of women every time. Look at me. I am your daughter. Do it for me, make me happy, and save my marriage." Even my daughter's situation was gradually making my congregation to become suspicious because they were wondering. They were beginning to doubt my anointing. They just felt that something was fishy. How could this man be dishing out triplets, twins to women, and his own only child is barren? Now, this was a great dilemma for me because I must not reveal my secret to anybody. The moment I did, the consequence would be madness. I must not tell anybody the terms and conditions of the powers that I possessed. On the other hand, I can't afford to grant my daughter the miracle she's seeking, because if she gave birth, she would only enjoy motherhood for 6 months, then the deity would take her life. I don't want to lose my daughter. I don't. That is why I am asking you people to give me advice.
What should I do? Please, viewers, drop your advice in the comment section.